Good morning, children. Sairam. Today we shall proceed with the next part of the poem, that is A Poison Tree by William Blake. In the first part, children, we have seen how the poet, when he tries to express his anger with his friend, he feels relaxed and happy. On the other side, when he is angry with his enemy, he doesn't express himself. And what happens to that? It grows. Okay, that anger grows, and it turns into a poisonous fruit. So, in this way, what is the poet telling us? That we should always express our feeling to others. Okay, so in that way, what will happen? We will also maintain good relations with others, as well as we will also feel relaxed, and no hatred related to any other person will lie within us. So, today we are just going to once again summarize the poem in short. So, as we have seen, that the poet has that this is a symbolic poem wherein he has given an example of a tree, where the poet, he waters his anger as you water a seed and it grows into a tree. So that anger started growing, and then it started bearing fruits. Okay, so we shall learn each stanza in detail once again. In the first stanza, what is the poet saying? The poet says that he was angry with his friend over some time, and he told him about it. So when he was angry with his friend, he just expressed his anger to his friend. In this way, all the anger and hate that was occupying his mind against his friend vanished away. So what happened because of that? Whatever anger or hatred was which was there in his mind for his friend, it came out. And now what happens? He says that he once got angry with his enemy and couldn't tell him about it. So now he was angry with his foe, with his enemy, but was not able to express his anger to his friend. And so then what happened? The anger not only remained in poet's mind, but also did grow. So it remained his mind, as well as it started growing more, because every time when he could see his enemy, he could get that feeling. And in the first stanza, what do we find? We find how easy is for a person to reconcile with his friend, although he may be angry with the latter. So when you talk to your friend about it, what happened? You don't just think about the consequences, what will happen, but you feel relaxed if that friend might find good enough, and then he would also forgive you. So in this way, what happens? We need to express our feelings to others, then only people will know what is in our mind, right? Then in the next stanza, the poet says that he watered it every day and night in fears of disclosing his anger before the enemy. So that fear was always there in his mind, and he watered that fear every day and night, that he is angry with his enemy. And tears that came out because of hate, and so that hatred was all continued in his mind all the time. The lines mean that the poet failed to give up his anger. So what does this line tell us? It tells us that the poet was not able to give up his anger for his enemy. It kept growing day and night in his mind because he feared from telling about it, and also kept memorizing the ill activity which poet's enemy might have done. So he was just remembering about that thing for which the poet was angry with his enemy, and always that thought would come to his mind. Thus, as a tree grows well in the sunshine, the poet's fake smiles also led the tree of anger to grow. So when he could see his enemy, he could smile, but that was a fake smile. So as you just water a plant and it grows into a tree, in the same way the poet was making his anger grow within. The deceitful tricks and plots used by the poet to hide his anger were like icing on the cake. So he was, when he would give a big fake smile, so that an enemy would not know that this person is angry with him. And so that was like creating a wrong belief in the mind of the poet's enemy. And so all of these things made the tree of poison grow up in his mind. every day it would get stronger, more poisonous and more difficult to cut. So what happened because of this? That every day the anger would become more strong, more poisonous, and the tree would become more strong, a tree of anger, which was very difficult to cut later. Then in stanza 3, the poet says that the poisonous tree, that is a tree of hate, kept growing day and night until a day when it bore an apple bright. The poet gets deep from here, and bright apple is something which attracts one's eyes and forces him to eat it. So what happens? Slowly this anger grew and it bore a fruit of an apple. So, and what is an apple? An apple is a poisonous fruit. It would attract somebody, but then when that person eats it, of course it would die. So however, this bright apple is grown by the harmful nutrients like deceit, hate and tricks. So what is there in that fruit? The nutrients, like harmful nutrients like deceit, hate and tricks. Thus the bright apple is not good, but a symbol of something bad and quite harmful. Okay. Then now, like Adam and Eve, you all must be aware about the story of Adam and Eve, right? The poet's enemies stole that bright apple, that is, was trapped in the plot, and so from the garden, that is mind. Okay, now here, as I told you, it's a symbolic poem, right? In the dead of night, that is during the night time, and ate it like Adam and Eve did. So as Adam and Eve ate that apple, so same way the friend's enemy also ate this poisonous fruit. Now in the morning, the poet is glad to see his enemy lying dead beneath the poisonous tree, like Satan was pleased to see Adam and Eve being expelled from heaven. So what did the poet see? When in the early morning he saw that his friend who was attracted to that apple fruit in his garden, he ate that poisonous fruit and was lying dead. So the poet is trying to say, what is the message the poet is giving us? He is saying that the anger makes one Satan, and in pursuit of taking revenge, one forgets that the person is human too. So see, you should always try to control your anger. If not, at least you should express it to the other person. You just don't let it grow within you, because ultimately it will lead to a poisonous fruit, and which would cause harm to others' life. So that is what the poet is telling us. Now we'll just learn the rhyme scheme of the poem. Now so far, now you are already aware about what a rhyme scheme is, right? So just see the poem. I was angry with my friend, I told my wrath did end. So see the first two lines, the last words of the first two lines, friend, end. They both are rhyming? Yes. So what do we start with as we write the rhyme scheme alphabet with alphabets? So first two lines are rhyming, so A. The next two, I was angry with my foe, I told it not, my wrath did grow. So foe, grow. So here we'll use the next alphabet, that is B, and the fourth line is rhyming with the third line, so B. So the rhyme scheme of the first stanza is A, B. Same way for the next stanza, and I watered it in fears, night and morning with my tears. So fears, tears. Again A. And I sunned it with smiles and with soft deceitful wiles. So smiles, wiles. So B. Again the rhyme scheme for the second stanza is A, B. Third stanza, and it grew both day and night till it bore an apple bright. So night, bright. So A. And my foe beheld it shine, and he knew that it was mine. So shine, mine. B. So the rhyme scheme for the third stanza again A, B. And into stole when the night had wheeled the pole. Stole, pole. So A. In the morning glad I see my foe outstretched beneath the tree. So, C, tree, B, bee. So, the rhyme scheme of the poem is A, B, B. So, children, here we finish with the poem today. Then we shall proceed with the new lesson in our next class. We shall stop for the day. Till then, thank you, children.